Now, there are strange people in the world, I have to say. Gosh, we talk about males still with their dangly bits going into females' dressing rooms and pretending to be female. But can I just say, there's nothing compared to a netball administrator. I don't understand the whole trans problem. I keep on thinking, you've misidentified the enemy here. These are poor, seriously deluded people who'd like to think they're a woman but are really sort of misguided gay guys. Listen, you're like men. You don't have to be a woman. We've actually passed the law. About a couple of decades ago, it was longer than that, 40 years ago, guys can get with guys. It's all right. You don't need to pretend to be a woman anymore. And I think they just didn't get that memo, those trans people. Obviously. No. And so I just regard them as a bit addled and who just need a bit of education. And frankly, if they had have learned at school, they would have got the memo and read, oh, I don't need to dress up like a woman and wear my hair long and pretend to be a girl. I can have sex with men anyhow. Oh, gosh, why didn't you tell me? Well, we're telling you now. Off you go. And they go and join some sort of scout troop somewhere. But no. Netball administrators, they're a special type of cruel. They're all women. They've all got short hair, which I always think, they're all middle-aged. And I think that there is a particular brand of ornery, and it belongs solely and only to middle-aged women who've played netball and become netball administrators. Because in the midst of a hoarfrost and of absolutely sub-zero temperatures, down here, they make little girls at 9 o'clock in the morning go onto frozen asphalt courts and play the game with a tunic, a short sleeve tunic and a short little netball dress. And they're not allowed to wear thermals or some form of full-length covering or tights to keep them warm. And if they are goal shoots, usually the big girl, she's the goal shooting, or the other big girl, she's the goal defence, they don't see an awful lot of action in schoolgirl netball because the girls in the middle tend to drop it. So on the rare occasion it does get down to the end of the court and it hasn't been mishandled, or the incessant whistles also of netball. Seriously, I'm going to say this, and I'm only going to say this to you once. Netball people are deranged. It's the one sport I just go, there's a derangement factor here and it's off the charts. They could go and play basketball, nice game, inside, lots of action, and everybody's sitting there comfortably inside. Nope, we'll go outside. We'll particularly be cruel on 9-year-old, 10-year-old and sort of 6-year-old kids that have just started to play. We'll make them dress in these little tunics. And when you go to the netball administrators and you say, what is wrong with you, you stupid, and then usually there's a pejorative word after that. I've used most of them, I think. They say, well, we did it in our day. And I thought, no, it's just that you're lesbians. You've all turned lesbian in your middle age. You've decided you don't like little girls because they're shorter and sweeter and kinder and better looking than you. You've become a netball administrator. You've decided everybody's got to suffer. It's a cruelty enacted and inflicted. And it doesn't matter so much in a place like Wanganui or Napier. It's still bloody cold. But in central Otago or Christchurch or, some sort of sub-zero winter's morning, it is an act of cruelty, and they do it all the time. My daughter's played, and I said, and finally, I can remember saying, no. I'm not taking you to the hospital with hypothermia at 10 o'clock in the morning. Don't be bloody ridiculous. Go and put your thermals on and stuff like that. Sure enough, some netball administrator came and said, no, she can't wear that. And I went, and I just said to her, and I actually used quite a few swear words, which I'd learnt mostly from the Maori boys upriver. They were some shocking. There's some really good Maori swear words that went into that as well. And I said, I gave her chapter and verse. She sort of slunk off after that and said, bloody North Islander, or words to that effect. But, yeah. So for those of you who have young girls who play netball, and I don't know if there are some bright administrators, but sadly my experience is we're dealing with mass cruelty to children, particularly females. And I'm just thinking to myself, the birth rate's dropped an awful lot in New Zealand. There's only 1.5 children being born. I reckon it's a lot to do with netball, just quietly. Odd game. And then men start to play it, and I'm going, oh, God. What is the wrong with male netball players? Next woman will be playing rugby. And lo and behold, there they are. Okay, so that's my take on it this morning. So I hope that if you do have small children, go and get them to play some other sport. Hockey's good sport. Like running around hockey. Football, soccer, great sport. Particularly for girls as well. Teaches them spatial awareness. Does all the good stuff. You run around as much as you like and things like that. But netball, no. And thank God, it looks like it's dying out. I have to say, New Zealand's useless at netball now. I think, can we beat Malawi? No, I don't know that we can. But we've dropped well off, and a whole series of other people. But and I'll tell you the other thing, just quietly, and listen, don't tell anybody. I make this comment every time that I stray across netball on the television screen with my wife, and I say, excuse me, we're playing Australia and Australia's beating us again. And I go, if the New Zealand girls lost about a stone or two, I reckon they might be a bit faster. What do you reckon? You just look again. You look at sort of the lithe, athletic sort of Australians, and then you look at the New Zealanders and you go, well, yeah. I do like the black girl, though. What's her name? Grace Nweke. I think that's the only world-class player that they've got. When she was injured, I think there was some world championship. Was it last year? Oh, Marty will tell me. But anyhow, cruelty on an industrial scale. Mind you, I have to say the first winter I came down here to Central Otago, it was -8 on a Saturday. And sure enough, the little girls were out there in their tunics, freezing their little butts off and probably getting some form of permanent damage to their ovarian systems. The boys were playing rugby. And I watched a game, I kid you not, of under 14-year-olds, I think they were, playing rugby at -8 degrees. The place was concrete. Within the first 5 minutes, there was one boy off who broke his collarbone, another one who broke his arm. Of course they are. They'd fallen on concrete. People say that's hardy. I just call that parental cruelty. End of story.